Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to do a glitter covered stainless steel tumbler. This can be any kind of really tumbler, honestly. It can be a water bottle like this. It can be a kid's cup like this, or it can be more of a coffee cup, kind of a Yeti-like cup like this one. It does preferably have to be stainless steel though, just to hold up over time. And this is using the resin or epoxy, some people call it, as a topper to really seal everything in and really give it a smooth touch and a really shiny glittery finish. So first and foremost, you are going to want to take your cup and you are going to want to decide where you want the glitter to be. If you want it to go all the way to the top and bottom edge, if you want there to be a, line or whatever. So for hers, I'm going to make it go all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom. I'm not going to actually do the bottom itself, but I'm not going to tape it off either, because since I'm not doing a bottom, like a little stopping point around the bottom, it's going to be it would be really hard to tape off just the bottom to where the glitter goes to the edge. For mine, there was an indent already along the bottom part right here where this tape is. So that's where I put my tape. I'm just going to have it stop there, and then I continue to just take the bottom off. And the top I taped off too, because the top where this blue tape is actually where this top goes in. So that would be covered by glitter. And so I just taped it around there. So first what you're going to want to do is clean off your cup with some rubbing alcohol. Next, you are going to start to put on your Mod Podge on your cup, and you're going to have your glitter pretty close by, so you can do this fairly quickly after you put it on, because you don't want the Mod Podge to dry. I have my two things of glitter right here. These are the same color, they're just different containers. So this is the Recollections brand from Michaels, and this, I don't think the camera's going to pick this up, but this is the prettiest glitter ever, you guys. This is the bling color, so it's like, it's silver, but it's kind of like an iridescent, like it's like a holographic kind of thing. It's so pretty. So there you go, you can catch a glimpse of it like that. So pretty. One tip is when you're doing your Mod Podge and then sprinkling the glitter on it, don't sprinkle the glitter over like your plate of Mod Podge, because then the excess glitter will stick to the plate and you can't reuse it. So I have this piece of paper under here that I'm going to be sprinkling onto, so I can just take the paper up and then just pour it back into the glitter container once I'm done. So there you go, guys. That is the first step, or the first glitter layer completed. If you probably can't tell, especially with this color glitter, but there are some spots, especially on this mug, like right there and right there, where I didn't get a very good coverage with the glitter. And that is perfectly okay, because you're going to be doing a second coat If I really wanted to go back, I could go back right now in those little areas and put some Mod Podge and then put just a little bit of glitter. I did do it in a couple of bigger areas, but one thing you can do to try and prevent those is, and unlike what I did, is you can do it in sections. So just do like a little, like a fourth, like paint the Mod Podge on a fourth of it, put the glitter, paint it again on the other part, put glitter. So the Mod Podge isn't drying, so you're getting those pretty even coats of it. But it still worked out pretty good for me the way I did it, especially on her cup. Her cup looks really good. It's definitely super, super, super blingy. So yeah, I'm gonna let these dry overnight, and then I'm going to do a second coat of glitter tomorrow. Okay guys, so here are my cups the next day. They are all dry. I did once or twice while they were drying, just kind of tap them on the plate to get any loose glitter off, but they were looking really, really, really pretty. So I am going to go ahead and do a second coat of glitter. So when you're doing this, just go as gently as possible with your brush. Because you don't want to take off too much of this glitter that's currently on there. You can also use a spray adhesive if you want. I just prefer to use the Mod Podge just because I can do it indoors and it doesn't get everywhere else, like on the top of this. Because I don't really want glitter to stick there. One, because I don't want to waste it, and two, I want to see very clearly where my stopping point is, where my line at the rim is. So I'm going to put more glitter on it. So guys, there you go. That is what it looks like with 2 coats of glitter. It looks very, very sparkly. You cannot see like any differences, and you know, if there's some missing spots in little places on this big one over here, there definitely is. There might be a tiny one right there, but you really can't tell because of the glitter. On this cup, you can tell that there's like this like spot right here that looks a little funky, and the reason is because that is actually a heart, which is their logo from this cup. It is actually risen in the cup, so it does look a little funky, but once I put the resin on it, I think it'll look fine. So super, super, super sparkly. And now I'm just gonna let these dry for another day, and then do my resin. So I want to show you guys how much glitter I have left. This is how much glitter I have left out of the 2 things after doing both of those cups two times. So this really does not take any glitter at all. Okay guys, so once your mugs are completely dry, the glitter is completely dry on there, you are going to take these outside or in a well-ventilated place, and you are going to spray them with a clear sealer. This just seals the glitter. So 1, it's easier to handle, and 2, it is a lot easier to put the epoxy coat on these when you have a sealer on them, because the glitter isn't all moving around. It doesn't come off as easily, because as you can see, if I touch this really at all, this glitter comes off. So it just really helps it stick better. So I am using the Krylon clear sealer. I just got this at Hobby Lobby. Normally my go-to sealer is the Mod Podge. They actually make a a sealer that comes in a spray form like this, and that's usually what I use, but I don't have any on hand, so I'm gonna use this. So I'm gonna go outside and spray these down. Okay guys, so now that I've sprayed my sealer on there, I am gonna go ahead and remove this tape, and then I'm going to retape it before I do the epoxy. I just don't want this other, you know, glitter that's kind of up here to get on there and make a kind of a seal around there. Some of the glitter still comes off, just a very, very little bit. And you might notice that your mug has kind of gotten kind of dull with the sealer, but don't worry because the epoxy will bring all the shine back. So I took the tape off and it made a really clear, clean coating line at the top and at the bottom, except for right here. As you can tell, I didn't angle my tape enough when I was ripping it off, so a little piece did come out, and that's just from, you know, doing all these layers of Mod Podge and glitter on top of your tape. That's why you want to replace it. I honestly probably should have replaced it once before this, but I didn't. You can go in there and just put a little bit of Mod Podge, put more glitter, you know, kind of fix that all up. This one looks nice and clean, nothing on the inside. The top rim is pretty good. I might sand it down in a couple of places just because it is kind of going kind of high. So I'm just gonna have to be really careful with the epoxy when I put it on this one, because there's no tape at the top. Like, there's no section of tape at the top. It's gonna go right to the top. So now I'm just gonna tape these back off. Okay guys, now that I have my cups taped off again, I am going to go ahead and put the resin on. I did go back on this cup and fix the little part of glitter that kind of pulled off. I don't honestly even remember where it was because I covered it. I'm pretty sure it's right there. I did do 2 coats of glitter. So next you are going to do the resin. So what you're going to need is this resin from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Make sure to get the clear one. There is another one that comes in the exact same box, but it is not clear. And you want a resin that is FDA compliant. Even though on these particular cups that I'm doing, we won't be putting our lips on the edge. You know, you're handling it, you're touching it, and then you're touching your face, your mouth, your food. So you just want to get one that's FDA compliant. I'm going to have some baby wipes just in case. This is more for the second or third coat of resin, just in case a little bit gets on the stainless steel part of it, like, you know, well, not on this one, but like on the bottom of this one or anything. I'm going to have a cup to mix them in, some plastic spoons. I'm going to use an actual paintbrush to apply this because it's what I have, but you can use a foam brush. And then I'm going to be using this little kids medicine cup to be mixing my epoxy, because you want exact, you want 50-50 of the epoxy, and you really don't need very much. So I'm just going to be using this to measure them and then pouring them in this cup. I do not have one of those fancy rotating stands that some people have, that they put the cup this way and then it rotates while the epoxy is drying, so it dries evenly with no drips. So I'm going to have to be putting the epoxy on with it standing vertical. So I'm going to be doing some very, very thin coats, probably around 3 or 4. So I've done about 1.5 coats, I would say, of epoxy on the cups. I did a really, really thin first coat, and then I kind of just, you know, brushed it around, alternated them, you know, this way and then on the other end, so they didn't get all the drips down to the bottom. And by the time I was done with the first one, you know, I could go back to, by the time I was done with the second one, I could go back to the first one and kind of do a little bit more. And then I did put a little bit more, like of a thicker coat on each of them, because I just wanted to finish what was in this cup. So they do have pretty thicker coats on them right now, and I'm just going to watch them, keep an eye on them. If they start to drip, I'll smooth them out a little bit, rotate them, you know, how they're laying. Okay guys, so it's been a while since I finished the second-ish coat of these, and I've just kind of been alternating them, drying this way, then this way, and I smoothed them out 1 or 2 times. And this one, the only problem with this one is that since I don't have anything taped off on the bottom, I can't hold it anywhere on the cup to remove the top, because with this one I have to remove the top to remove the tape. With this one I can just rip the tape off, which I'm about to do now, and then I will retape them when I do the next resin layer. So with this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a razor blade, and I'm just going to, there's a groove right there, and I'm just going to go in that groove gently and just kind of get that extra resin out of there. Scoop it off of the tape a little bit, just so it doesn't dry closed. So now that I have them how I want with the tape removed, and went down the other one with a razor blade, I'm just gonna let them sit here for a couple of hours to completely dry. Right now they're really pretty tacky still, but they've stopped dripping, which is why I removed the tape on this one. So I'm just gonna let them sit and wait to do the next step. Okay guys, so my cups are dry, and I took off the lid off of this one. It was a little difficult, but I got it off just fine. Some areas of the cup, I don't know if you can see this, are still pretty rough. Like you can definitely feel the glitter, like at the bottom and at the top, and there's a couple areas like over here. And that's okay, because I did really thin coats of glitter, so that's not really that much of a concern. So I am going to go ahead and use some sandpaper, and I'm just going to gently sand down those areas. It's going to get kind of like cloudy looking and weird looking, but that's okay, because you're going to be doing another coat of resin on top of it. So now that I sanded them down, I am going to go ahead and put the tape back on and put on a second coat of resin. So now for the next probably 10 or 15 minutes, I'm just gonna kind of, you know, flip these back and forth and just stroke them down a little bit, because if you leave them on the plate, you can see how, you know, the resin will kind of slip down and go down. So by going back and forth, they kind of start to harden, and then it will self level out on the cups. And then I'm just going to leave these to dry overnight, and then tomorrow do the next step. Okay guys, so my second layer of epoxy is completely dry. These cups definitely could be finished now, but since I'm doing the vinyl decal, I am going to be putting one last layer of epoxy on top of them as well. And that will just be a very thin layer. If you do your epoxy layers pretty thick, you could do just one layer and then the decal and then another. But I decided to do 2 first, because you could really still feel the glitter in certain areas, and if you were to try to put the decal over rough glitter, it wouldn't be smooth. You know, you'd get all these air bubbles underneath the decal. You can sand it like I did, but I mean, it's still not going to be completely perfect, so I rather would just put 2 layers of epoxy and then my decal. So now I have both of my vinyl decals cut out of Oracal 651, and I am just going to put them on both of the cups. So here are my decals all on both cups and ready to go. I did end up changing the decal for this cup to this one. I just liked how it fit on there better. I tried this one on there, this style, and it just would not. This cup kind of like comes in at the bottom, and this one, no matter how small I put it, it just would not go on there. It kept folding over onto itself. So I ended up just doing this one, which I actually really do like this one. I forgot I had it. And I also used drywall tape to apply it. Drywall tape is just a little bit easier to use than transfer tape sometimes, especially if you're putting a decal on like a curved surface, because it just has more give to it. So yeah, I really like that. So now what I'm going to do is I am once again going to tape off both of the cups and mix some more epoxy up. Okay, so now I have both of my cups taped off, and I've mixed my epoxy up, and I've just gone over the decal one last time to smooth it out, make sure there's no air bubbles underneath of it. And I am just going to go over it for the last time with the epoxy. Okay guys, so I have the coat of resin on the cups, and I've just been kind of turning them, stroking them with the brush to kind of make it, you know, the drips kind of even out. And they are pretty tacky now. They're not really dripping anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and take the tape off of this one so it doesn't dry stuck. Okay, so I took the tape off, and lastly what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a baby wipe and just go around the edge of the bottom of this cup and just wipe it off. The top is really good, I don't need to do it. And then on the bottom of this cup, since there was no tape to protect it, I'm just going to ever so carefully just do a quick little run around to see if there's any resin got under the tape. And then I am just going to leave these overnight to dry, and we will see what they look like in the morning. Okay guys, so here are what the cups look like completely finished. They dried and I took the tape off. I just cleaned them up a little bit. Some resin did drip over the edge here onto the stainless steel, so I just cleaned that up a little bit. And then I cleaned up just the very inner rim of this one. So they are completely finished. The decal is completely encased in the epoxy, which I love. This glitter is absolutely gorgeous, you guys. The video is just not doing it justice. It is gorgeous. I love this glitter. When the light hits it just right, it just shines so beautifully. So I am really, really happy with how they turned out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Stay tuned for another one on how to do the same cups, just a different method. Bye guys.